What's happening, boxing fans? It's Rod De La Paz. Today we're going to talk about Keith Thurman versus Manny Pacquiao. Fight is coming up on July 20, which is next month. And people are talking about it. A lot of celebrities going for Manny Pacquiao. A lot of boxers going for Manny Pacquiao. Keith Thurman. I just have to say this. I have really enjoyed watching Keith Thurman come up the ranks. I've been watching him for the last several years, and the first time I saw him, I absolutely loved what he has offered boxing. Um, Let me tell you, Keith Thurman, he's hungry. At least he seems to be hungry right now. I know that his last performance with Josecito Lopez wasn't that great of a performance for him, and I know that he himself is kind of disappointed with his performance. However, I know that against an aging Manny Pacquiao, Keith really has everything to lose on this fight. Honestly, I don't know if it was a great fight for him to take. However, it just shows you what Keith Thurman is made of. He's not out to protect necessarily his undefeated record. He wants to really put an exclamation point on his legacy at this point in time by fighting the best. And I understand that Manny Pacquiao, yes, he's 40 years old, but also coming from a 40-year-old myself, also being very competitive. Mentally, I think Manny Pacquiao still has it, to be quite honest with you. Yes, he's 40 years old, but hey, look, we are all creatures of habit, okay? Manny Pacquiao is going into his 70th or 71st fight, okay? He is definitely a product of his habits. So he's been doing this for decades now, okay? And let me just tell you, for somebody to come in like Keith Thurman and say that he is going to just dominate him in the ring, thinking that he could bully a little bunny rabbit, I'm not too sure if that's really the right mentality to have going in. Now, I understand that Keith Thurman, just like all of the other fighters out there, they have to psych themselves up. They're saying all this stuff like for the press conference and for marketing purposes. Of course, they got to beef up the fight, right? But let me tell you, based on what he says, when you say things like all he has is his left hand, I hope he's not serious about that. Because if Keith Thurman thinks that all that Manny Pacquiao has is his left hand, well, ask Oscar De La Hoya that. Ask Miguel Cotto that. Ask Margarito. Ask Rios. Ask Ricky Hatton. Ask all of these legendary fighters how many hands Manny Pacquiao has. As a matter of fact, just think about it. With Marquez, fought him 4 times. You think if he had only his left hand, it would take him 4 times to finally put the knockout on Manny Pacquiao? I mean, come on. Let's not grossly underestimate Manny Pacquiao here. Manny Pacquiao has developed his game. Yes, he might have had the right, straight, left in the very beginning, but I thought we were over that conversation already. He has developed into a complete boxer. And now he has more than just he's more than just a volume puncher. He's much more than that. The guy can go 15, 20 rounds at the highest levels And he actually gets better and better and more accurate towards the second half. So because of that, if Keith Thurman doesn't take care of Manny Pacquiao within the first 4 rounds, Keith, I have to tell you, you're not going to do too well against Manny Pacquiao. The thing about Manny Pacquiao is that he's a rhythm boxer, okay? So for boxing fans out there, you know that ring generalship is like one of the things that boxers are rated on, you know, when they score on the scorecard. Manny Pacquiao, he's a rhythm boxer. So he gets the timing right. Okay? He gets his timing, and as he goes on later in the rounds, he starts to learn how to time and how fast his opponents are. And I'll tell you, you know, based on what I've seen on Keith Thurman's last performance, Josecito Lopez, and I know it might not be fair because, yes, he was out for quite some time. I think it was like 18 months, and forgive me if I'm wrong with that. But yes, it might have been ring rust, but at the same time, like even if you look at his fights, like against Danny Garcia, and then even before that with Sean Porter, after the 5th round, he was just going on kind of like on muscle memory and survival mode. All right. And what I like to call like zombie mode, like you're not really strategizing anymore. It's just like 100% adrenaline, 100% heart. And that's actually what I love about Keith Thurman. All right. Because he leaves it all out on the ring. He doesn't have any reserve whatsoever. But at the same time, if you think about it, that kind of mentality is not going to do well against Manny Pacquiao. So the question is, can Manny Pacquiao survive past 4 or 5 rounds against a heavy-hitting Keith Thurman? Based on his record, the answer is yes, he can. Look at what Manny Pacquiao did against Jeff Horn, okay? Lasted the entire match against a bigger and grappling and wrestling Jeff Horn. All right? He lasted. Was he tired? He looked tired, but I believe, along with all of the other boxing commentaries, even that night, they really believed that Manny Pacquiao won. Okay? But to me, Jeff Horn looked like he wrestled Manny Pacquiao. It was like he gave him jabs, he tried to give him some hooks, and then grappled. He hit him, then grappled. So, to be honest with you, I think the only way that Keith Thurman is really going to be able to beat Manny Pacquiao is to immobilize him. You got to immobilize Manny Pacquiao. I mean, it's easier said than done. But Manny Pacquiao is a master at moving his feet, going in and out, feinting with his whole body. And as soon as he goes for it, I mean, this is how he traps his opponents. Okay? I mean, if for those who have been really watching Manny Pacquiao, like he goes in, okay? And as soon as he goes in like this, they usually take the bait and they throw in like a lazy jab. So guess what Manny does? He slips the jab and goes boom. You see it every single time. But what makes this punch very powerful and very effective is the fact that the opponent is coming in with their jab, thinking that they're just going to jab him like this, right? When he slips it and throws his straight left, it's like as if the opponent is just walking right into it. So it's like double the power. So it's not just a regular hit. It's kind of almost like a jab, okay? But the fact that the opponent is coming in on their jab, it's even more. And let me tell you, it's like a degrading feeling when you constantly walk into a left.